Welcome back to Optimal Play. I'm Brandon.
I'm Steven.
And it's been a while. We're here to give our first impressions of the Search for Kadath Mythos pack for Arkham Horror the card game. There was a little bit of a longer delay than usual between the Dream Eaters box and the first Mythos pack, I think. And also, when it came out, Steven fled the country.
Yes, I was in Germany in a castle playing the Game of Thrones card game. It was great. I do not regret missing the initial launch of the pack.
I see where your priorities lie. Well, on Optimal Play, a lot's been going on without Steven. We've gotten Arkham Horror Final Hour to the table, have a video of that. Marvel Champions, the new LCG, lots of good stuff. So if you haven't subscribed or haven't checked out the latest stuff, please do. And then, what did I want to talk about? The other thing that has happened since we last recorded is I went to Arkham Nights. It was an awesome time. I wanted to really quickly say thank you to everyone who came up and introduced themselves, said that they loved our show or watched our show despite not loving it. I really appreciated it. It was a really good feeling and really awesome to meet you guys and to even play games with a few of you guys. So if I didn't meet you, hopefully next year or at some other events.
Yeah, I also I was at Netrunner Nationals and a few people said, "Oh, hey, I've seen the videos." And we actually ended up doing a 7-player blob there, and one of the people that beat the blob with me ended up winning Netrunner Nationals. So I think it was good luck.
Very cool. I also wanted to give a special shout out to my Iron Man team. If you don't know, Iron Man is an unofficial part of Arkham Nights where you play through an entire campaign in one day, or at least try to, and see how it goes. Raphael, Casey, and Cameron, also known as Man from Lang on my team, were very tolerant as I built a Finn deck entirely around the Crystallizer of Dreams from the Dream Eaters box. Have you had a chance to play with this yet?
No, it seems like a fun card.
Yeah, fun is right. I'm really torn about how it went. It felt really good, especially once I had gotten just one experience point and turned my emergency caches into easy marks so that my main econ event had icons on it. Mm-hmm. That felt really awesome, and you were just getting a lot of mileage out of each event. But the Guardian of the Crystallizer, the weakness that it makes you shuffle in your deck, it's no joke. I don't have it in front of me. I think it's a 3/3/3, meaning it takes someone 2 hits to deal with.
Yeah.
It hunts you, and it felt really good. But basically, the Crystallizer of Dreams felt great when the whole game went by and I never drew the Guardian. But the times that I drew the Guardian, and because I was busy evading and investigating, basically I forced my team to deal with it for me. I wasn't sure that it was worth...
Does it spawn right on you?
No. Wait. Oh, now I really wish I had it in front of me. I think it spawns on you, but spawns exhausted.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly. It's been a few weeks since after playing 8 games in one day of it, I didn't... I haven't rushed to play more of that one. The other thing, my other takeaway from my deck was I had put... So I think when we talked about the Crystallizer of Dreams, we didn't note that those service cards, the ones that you can pay like 2, 4, or 6, the rogue events, they all have double icons. Mm-hmm. So naturally, they go great with Crystallizer of Dreams. The problem is, even when I had bought the... I could only take the lower level hot streaks because Finn can't take the highest rogue cards, but... even when I built pretty much as much econ as I possibly could in my deck, I had Easy Mark, I had hot streaks, I had investments, I still couldn't afford all the services. Like, I stopped short of having Milan Christopher in my deck. Maybe that would have helped. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I was just always poor and never felt like I was firing on all cylinders like I wanted to. And you've got to be able to afford the events to even put them on the Crystallizer of Dreams in the first place. So
yeah, and I've found that with weaknesses often, like even the best case scenario, maybe you draw it and there's a fighter on your team that doesn't have anything else to do. Just the act of you not getting the draw that you would have gotten can be really crippling.
It's true.
When you're trying to dig for some important piece and you hit a weakness, it's really bad. So definitely, I can see how probably the pros don't outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
But a cool design.
Absolutely a fun card. Yeah. I'm really glad it exists. I thought it was kind of ridiculous as a level 0, but now that I don't think it's all that great, I'm like, okay, it's all right. It's level 0 and it's inexpensive. Yeah, have you played with anything from Dream Eaters?
Yeah, I think the one that I kind of changed, not necessarily my opinion, but my style with was Luke. So originally, his ability lets him play events at connecting locations. So I originally built one that was very event focused. It was all about just finding clues with
Drawn to the Flame?
Drawn to the Flame, yeah. And, Storm of Spirits to kill stuff and very event focused. And then when I did investigate, it was, I figured I'll use intellect, and I'll have the camera, and I'll eventually boost my intellect. What I found is that his base stats are really bad. They're actually the exact same as Mateo's, who also has bad stats for a Mystic. And the camera just takes way too long to build your intellect because it's only the second location. So I rebuilt it, focusing more on investigating with Rite of Seeking or Sixth Sense. And that way, you can use either Holy Rosary or you can use the camera, but you only need to finish one location.
Right.
And it worked so much better. So I would say that, his ability to do events on connecting locations is definitely useful, and you should still play, some amount of Drawn to the Flame, some amount of Storm of Spirits, but don't rely on those things too much, and just because you can take secret cards, and his intellect isn't terrible, I still wouldn't rely too much on investigating with intellect.
Interesting. So we both played cards that push you to have a lot of events, and then we both went overboard playing too many events.
Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't afford mine. You had your own issues.
Yeah. So, But I think once you get a decent deck that's maybe a little more traditional Mystic with Rite of Seeking, Sixth Sense, stuff like that, his ability to kind of fly around the board can be really useful.
Yes.
I did when I did the blob with him. I dropped a shortcut 2 in the middle of the crater that was super useful, and being able to kind of zoom around and help where needed was very nice. So.
Very cool. I still haven't tried them yet, so I haven't didn't contribute much to your analysis there, but I look forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. So the search for Kadath. That's what we're here for. It has, I noticed just sorting through the cards, that it has the fewest player cards of, I think, any pack ever. Unseating, Union, and Disillusion.
Yeah. It's pretty small.
Yeah. So I think I like that. The bigger the card pool gets, the more I feel like, sure, cut a few player card slots now and then to make the best scenario you can make. I think I'm all right with that. But it might mean a shorter video. I guess we'll see how it goes. Want to start us off with the first one?
Sure. This is First Watch. I actually remember this from our preview article. It's a 1-cost Guardian event, book and agility icons, and it's a tactic. Fast, play when the draw and counter card step of the Mythos phase would begin. Instead of resolving that step, look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of investigators. Deal these cards among the investigators as you wish, dealing no more than 1 card to each investigator other than yourself. Then, one at a time, each investigator draws the card dealt to them. Now, the part that is easy to miss is that you are allowed to deal more than one to yourself. So it's deal no more than 1 card to each investigator other than yourself.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right. This is now coming back to me. I did see that preview article too. This card looks super cool. That is really interesting that you could, if you wanted to, just take them all.
Yeah,
right?
I think, the classic idea would be that if you draw more than 1 monster and you are the typical just, all I do is fight, I don't do clues at all, you just take all the monsters.
Right.
Especially if machete's not your weapon.
Of course, yeah. Or if you've got grenades or dynamite.
Dynamite, flamethrower. Guardians have a lot of cool cards to deal with that. Another thing would be, maybe there's some kind of damage ones, but you have a lot of soak out. Could also be fine to take a bunch.
So then each player draws the card. Okay, so this can also let you deal the worst cards that you really don't want.
To your least favorite person?
Yes, I would deal them to you, but no. You can deal them to the person who can cancel them, right? Because it says that then they draw the card, which allows them to cancel it. So the person who has Test of Will 5 or whatever that can just cancel that big monster, that seems really powerful too.
Yeah, it's different than you handle this one and let me handle this, because those happen when the specific encounter card is drawn, which is too late to ward it. So you cannot, you handle this one to your Mystic and then they ward it. But this one, because it happens like when you would draw cards, but you haven't drawn it yet, it is in time. So
I think Word of Protection was what I was thinking when I said Test of Will 5 a minute ago. Word of Protection, right. All right, I'm excited to play it.
Yeah,
I don't have that much else to say about it.
I think especially in 4-player, this is super strong because you can imagine like you take one monster to yourself, you give a will test to your mystic, you give a horror to your Carolyn or something, and then you give the nastiest one, the one that doesn't even have a test, that maybe is Ancient Evils or something, you give that to the Canceller. So you could really make almost like the entire Mythos encounter phase not that bad.
Yeah, seems really strong, and that's a good point. It scales in power with the number of players, and also kind of continuing a theme we've seen in this cycle so far. You might as well say multiplayer only on it, right?
Yeah, and I actually would say if I have one complaint about the design of this, I think it should cost X, where X is the number of players, because I feel like in 4-player, like this is so powerful that the fact that it doesn't it seems like a good opportunity to like make it cost more.
That's a good point. All right, the next Guardian card is Daring. It's a skill with 3 wild icons.
Nice.
It's innate and says, commit only to a skill test during an attack or evasion attempt against an enemy. That enemy gains Retaliate and Alert for the duration of the skill test. After this test ends, draw 1 card. Okay, I see the... it's a good title for what it is, right? Do you think this is any good?
I love it.
Yeah.
As you know, like I will always like throw in the extra delve at the end of a game.
I do know that.
You know, because I always it's like go big or go home. So like I love the idea that like I'm gonna get a great attack, I'm gonna get a card, and like maybe something bad will happen, but like we'll deal with that when it happens.
And you're probably fine, right? If you're gonna throw +3 from this card, in addition to whatever else you're doing.
You definitely will not draw an auto fail after you play this and say, I'm probably fine.
Yeah.
That would never happen in Arkham.
Never, no. And then you draw a card. Yeah, win or lose, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So you can throw this into a friend's test, let them fail and take the retaliation, and then you get a card. So, no harm done.
You will definitely not draw an auto fail and then draw into your weakness. Like that would never happen in Arkham.
Oh man, thanks. That is now everyone who watched this. That's going to. You've just cursed everyone watching us right now.
Yes, this video is like the rain.
Within the next 7 games, this will happen to you. One question that I have, and we have a great success rate when debating rules questions here.
Yeah.
Is retaliate twice or alert twice redundant, or would they actually attack twice? If an enemy already has retaliate and you play this?
So with no knowledge of the specific Arkham rules, but just based on my knowledge of every other FFG game, I would say that it does not cause them to attack twice, but that if you had some other effect that removed retaliate or something, that it would then reinstate it.
Oh, okay.
So it would be it has 1 + 1 - 1 instance of retaliate. If you say attack with some weapon that said loses retaliate, like the 45 level 2.
Yep.
So that would be my guess, is that it would be if you attack the retaliate enemy with this and 45-2, that it would then get the retaliate back.
Okay. I buy that, and if so, then that makes this a freebie +3 in a card against an enemy that already has retaliate.
Yep.
Right, which is great. Which is really good against a lot of elite monsters, and very cool. All right, give us the Dream Diary.
Ooh, this is a 2-cost asset with a will icon, and the subtitle is untranslated.
Oh boy, it's been a little while since we got one of these.
Yeah, so I assume this is another campaign type item. It's an item, tome, and charm. For an action, search your bonded cards for the essence of the dream and add it to your hand. And then as a reaction, after you succeed by 3 or more during a skill test to which essence of the dream is committed, record in your campaign log that you have interpreted the dreams.
Well, before we talk too much about this, I happen to have a copy of Essence of the Dream here to read.
Nice.
It's a skill card that has 2 wild icons, and it's bonded to Dream Diary. And it says, when Essence of the Dream would enter your discard pile or be shuffled into your deck, instead set Essence of the Dream aside out of play with your bonded cards. So, Dream Diary does nothing inherently at all.
Yep.
It lets you take an action to add the bonded card to your hand. And then, if you put it into a skill test, it gives you +2, but you need to pass by 3 or more to interpret the dreams. Cool. It's interesting. We will have to see what presumably this has like an upgrade path into higher level versions, like some of the past Seeker cards.
Yeah, I think it's like a little weird that there's like 3 card slots taken up by like really doesn't do anything yet. Like, you know, it's 50% more real estate like devoted to just kind of killing time until you get to the cool thing.
Yeah, I've always wished that these would just come out in the same pack as their upgrades. Like, this was cute in the Dunwich cycle when it's like, oh my gosh, what is the strange solution going to do? Let's debate it for months until we find out. But now I'm like, just give us the upgrades. I'm kind of over putting this into decks that I'm playing 1 month at a time just to see whether it pays off. Like, yeah, it's a little tricky because it uses a hand slot. So it's going to get in the way of your magnifying glasses, your fingerprint kits, and that kind of thing when you are trying to translate these dreams. And then it's a pretty big sink of resources, right? Like, it's cost 2, obviously. You have to draw the card and play the card, and it's an action just to get the bonded card, whereas most other bonded cards just give it to you.
And what happens if you don't succeed by 3 on the essence? Like, can you try again?
Yeah, so if it would enter your discard pile because you've committed it and failed, then succeed or fail, it then gets set aside out of play with your bonded card. So you could take another action on the Dream Diary to get it back and try again.
So, like, would Min play this to just be able to take an action to get 2 wilds?
That's a great question. Is this ever worth just getting a repeatable double wild skill card? I lean towards thinking no. There are just better things you can do with your action than drawing a skill card, right? Like playing one of many Seeker cards that that searches for cards or draws multiple cards. But maybe it's worth experimenting with.
Yeah.
What I wonder is whether the upgraded Dream Diaries will actually, because you pointed out that there might be some value there, that they will actually work the same way. That the value of the upgraded versions is also a skill card that you can get over and over, but the skill card will be something fancier. And
it could be that it's just the same card, but it's a fast action once per turn or something.
Sure. Yeah. So. I mean, yeah, maybe there's one version. I'm going to speculate that we're going to get like 3 different versions that each have a different like triple icon on it. So you can, they always like to each focus on each kind of archetype of character.
See, I'm speculating that they reuse the same skill card.
Oh, you think that it will be this essence of the dream that the upgraded versions still use?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, we will see someday who was right. Let's mark this down. We'll see who called it. Okay, well that was the only Seeker card in the pack. Yeah. So that takes us to Rogue, and we've got Followed. It is a 2-cost Rogue event. It's a tactic, and it says Investigate. Choose an enemy at your location. You get +1 intellect for this investigation for each damage on the chosen enemy to a maximum of +5. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location. This attack does not provoke attacks of opportunity from the chosen enemy. A lot to process here. So it's not a guarantee to get these clues, but if you... This is the first time that we've cared about how much damage is on an enemy, right? In this way?
As far as I know, yes. And you can play it with no damage on an enemy, which would just make it a 2-clue test. So you'd be testing to get 2 clues. Probably not worth it in general to pay 2 and a card for that, but it also, if for some reason you needed to not get attacks of opportunity, like if this actually combos well with Alice Luxley, if you're trying to like finish things off, and you need to get a clue to do him a damage, but you don't want to investigate and get an attack of opportunity. So if for some reason you're playing Alice Luxley in like a Skids deck or something,
or Tony can take Alice Luxley, right?
No, he can only take, I think, assets or events and skills.
That's right. He's one of those, like Mandy. I haven't played Tony yet. Okay.
But I do think, to segue, I think this is good in Tony. I think his intellect is like 3, so he can damage an enemy a couple times, and then get it up to like a respectable like 5 or 6 intellects. And then he has tons of actions. Like he often has like 5 actions a turn because of Leo and bounties. So he could actually like bang, bang, investigate, bang to death, and never take an attack.
Huh. Yeah, that seems solid. And it makes sense that this would be a card geared towards Tony. It's in his cycle, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. What's next?
Momentum. This is a 1 XP rogue skill, 1 wild icon. It's practiced. Does practice have a theme?
What do you mean a theme?
Like, do practice cards tend to be a certain way?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Maybe we'll figure it out.
If this skill test is successful, reduce the difficulty of the next skill test you perform this phase by X, where X is the amount of this skill succeeded by, to a maximum of 3. You've never been content with the safe route.
This continues a theme of rogue cards having characters with real, like, lanky limbs. Okay, so this is only... So it's a wild icon, so it's never useless, but it's only useful if you know that you're testing multiple times, right? So like if you're fighting an enemy that's gonna take multiple attacks, or you're investigating a lot of times at a location.
What's really interesting about it is that you can use it to have the thing that you're good at help you with the thing that you're bad at. So Tony could use this to do the final blow when he's up by like 5. You know, maybe he's using a big a Chicago typewriter to shoot some puny little enemy, and then use it to investigate after the enemy's dead.
That's true. But okay, yeah, and it would reduce the difficulty of that skill test. Interesting. Okay, and investigating seems like the natural place for it, because I think that's the place where you're most likely to just reduce it to 0 shroud. Maybe more often than you would like use something like this to fight an enemy and reduce it to 0.
Yeah. So also, I mean, you could do the reverse, where like Finn could investigate if the enemy's not engaged with him, and then use this bonus to either evade or kill it.
That's true. Yeah, it would need to not be engaged with him, but good multiplayer. Would you spend XP on this?
I don't know. It's definitely... It's very different from the way that, you normally play.
Yeah.
So it might be really good, might not be. It also has one other use, which is in the kind of like succeed by 2 archetype. Like, I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is another card that cares about how, even though it's not like succeed by 2 specifically, it cares about how much you succeed by.
So if you're playing like Opportunist and Cigarette Case and Switchblade and stuff like that, you might try to fit this in.
I felt like that succeed archetype is... Every cycle there's like 1 or 2 new things for it, right? Like it's a pervasive rogue theme, and someday we're just going to be like, oh, now there's enough cards right, for that to be good. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that it's been a real worthwhile thing yet.
Yeah,
Still.
I mean, a couple of the cards are playable, but I don't think that building your whole deck around it right now is good.
Yeah, that's not to say that none of them are any good. Some definitely are, but like it feels like someday it's going to be like, now I'm building a deck with all these cards, and they all work together in a way that's really powerful. Maybe this is the one that gets us there, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I think right now Switchblade 2 and Lucky Cigarette Case are the good ones, and then like Opportunist and the one that's like, if you would win by more, right now are not quite optimal. But yeah.
Man, Opportunist in the core sets. Like someday we're going to get that card that just...
Well, the leveled up version of it is not quite as terrible.
It's true.
It's just
True.
It's still not worth including in your deck, but it's not actively terrible.
Alright, I'm moving on to Mystic. The Scroll of Prophecies, which is a 3-cost asset. It's an item and a tome. It uses 4 secrets and says, as an action, spend 1 secret. Choose an investigator at your location. That investigator draws 3 cards, then discards 1 card from their hand. So it was, and so shall it ever be. Alright, can we just get this out of the way? Great for Daisy, right? Any tome, we're going to say that.
Yeah.
Alright, what else do you think?
I mean, it's very similar to like all the other scrolls and books and stuff that they'll have to do with drawing and picking some of them and not picking all of them. I think that this one much more than, was it Scroll of Secrets in the last cycle?
Man, all these scrolls, and then the fact that there's already Dark Prophecy and Prophesy, this, I am going to forget this card's name forever. Yeah. This is the last time you're ever going to hear me remember the name of Scroll of Prophecies. So I don't know. To answer your question whether it was Scroll of Secrets or what, I'm not sure.
I think there was Scroll of Secrets or something. It was a multi-class card in the previous cycle. I thought that one was quite bad compared to Old Book of Lore. Mm-hmm. This one I actually might like more than Old Book of Lore. So the difference is Old Book of Lore, you look at 3, you pick one. Yep. This one you draw, and also Old Book of Lore has no limit, which is nice. Yeah. This one you draw 3, and you discard 1. So you're actually getting 3 cards out of your deck. You're going through your deck much faster. True. And you're also drawing twice as fast because you're ending up with 2 more cards.
You are also hitting any weaknesses in those 3 cards, which Old Book of Lore lets you dodge, right?
Yep. So I mean, it kind of depends. Like if your style is more about kind of carefully picking out the right cards, and then you probably want to stick with Old Book of Lore. My playstyle tends to be like, I just want to draw fast, and I love to get through my weaknesses. And so the fact that you're discarding a card, especially like a level 0 deck, you might have some cards that aren't that great. So the fact that you're drawing it and discarding it is maybe better than not drawing it. Yeah,
that stands out to me as like, this feels like a level 0 card. Like you put it in your deck because it's good while your deck is bad. Exactly. And then you upgrade it to something else pretty quickly.
Get to those broken level 0 cards like Milan, early, and chuck the rest of the level 0 cards that aren't very good.
Exactly. Okay. It's probably worth a try. And you know what? For Mystics, they might have the hand slots. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right?
Definitely.
So a lot of the time, hand slots are just the slot that I look at, and I'm just like, this has to really justify itself in your deck, because it's not just a deck slot; it is one of your most powerful slots other than ally. Yeah. And for a Mystic, though, it might work out. And again, you can share it with other people.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the 4 secret limitation's that bad. I mean, that means you're drawing through 12 cards. That's over a third of your deck. That should be enough.
Yeah, and it's an action to spend a secret. Like, if it was fast, then that would be a clear limiter on how many times you can do it. But are you really going to find more than 4 opportunities to do this in the remainder of the game after you play it?
Yeah, I don't know that I use Old Book of Lore that many. Like, I maybe use it 5 times, but generally, eventually, I'm using Encyclopedia more and stuff. So
right. So that seems like plenty of secrets. And hey, there's cards that add to it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you read us this next one?
All right, Read the Signs. This is a 2-cost event, will and book icons. It's a spell. Investigate. Add your will value to your skill value for this investigation. You may ignore any effect or keyword on your location which would trigger during this investigation. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue. A grisly future is laid before you. Do you turn away or do you embrace it? That seems like a Circle Undone card to me.
Yeah, you know how Quantum Flux, and a lot of the time we see the silver bullet card that just like thwarts the previous cycle's main mechanic in the next cycle. Goodbye haunted locations.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of the flavor text, but yeah, definitely very good on haunted.
Oh, I thought I went straight to this ignores the keyword, like the haunted keyword, right?
Yeah.
And you may ignore, so also if there's a benefit on the location, which is not as common as punishments, but even outside of Haunted, though, and Haunted is only if you fail, there are plenty of locations that punish you for succeeding, or even succeeding for the wrong amount. Like, I think it's the lighting box in Curtain Call that does damage to you if you succeed by 1 or more. And that's always one that's been really tricky. I forget exactly whether it's damage or discarding a card or what. But there's a punishment if you succeed by too much, and then it has 1 shroud. So this is a great way to get those clues.
Do you think this works on extra costs? Like when it says takes an additional action to investigate, things like that. Like, would you have already paid that cost by the time this card starts, basically?
You may ignore any effect or keyword in your location which would trigger during this investigation. I don't think that additional costs trigger.
Yeah.
Right? I think you would still have to pay
like
additional
one of the
costs.
classic places that you like using Drawn to the Flame is like in Dunwich. I think it was like the library costs an additional action to investigate, and it's 4 shrouds. So that was always one where you're like, oh, I'll just play Drawn to the Flame.
Right. Yeah. So, I could be wrong, and I'm sure people will helpfully correct us in the comments if I am. But I don't think this gets you out of that.
Yeah, I would tend to lean that way too.
Can I just back up for a second and compare this to Followed? Is it just me, or is this card a lot better than Followed? It doesn't. It just adds your willpower value to your skill for the investigation instead of having some really conditional. There has to be damage on an enemy at your location.
Yeah, though I think also like context matters. Like Followed, I feel like is I guess so. Followed, you would compare to Intel Report for rogues, and
like I think what Followed has over Intel Report for rogues is for Intel Report to get you 2 clues, you would have to spend 4 resources.
Yeah.
Right. So Followed gets you 2 for 2 if you pass the test. But yeah, I don't know. Just in the pack side by side, it seems to me like Read the Signs is dramatically better than Followed to me.
Yeah, I think they might get a similar amount of play though. Like I think Followed is maybe a little worse than Intel Report, but like has some consideration. Same thing with Read the Signs though. I feel like it's probably a little worse than Drawn to the Flame. But they're. I
don't know if I think that this is worse than Drawn to the Flame.
So it costs you 2 more resources, and you do have to take a test. However, the test is going to be pretty beneficial. So
yeah, so because the test, both of them are cards that you particularly use for like high shroud locations or locations that punish you for investigating the normal way. I think a lot of the time I would rather pay for this and take a test rather than take the encounter card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean maybe.
This seems actually the more I think about this, and with that comparison, that I think I might run this over Drawn to the Flame a lot of the time. This card starts to seem really great because Drawn to the Flame is very good.
Yeah, well, so I will say like with Luke, like Luke tends to be pretty broke because he does have all these cool events and stuff he wants to play. So I would probably not fully replace Drawn to the Flame with it in Luke. Maybe do like 2 Drawn to the Flame, 1 of this or something. And then the other one that I would say I might still play Drawn to the Flame in is Diana, just because she, eats encounter cards for dinner.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's more, if you have a decent amount of money, Safina probably likes this a lot. She can make money with rogue stuff.
We got that new upgraded alchemical transmutation. Maybe I haven't tried it yet. Are mystics rich now? Maybe they are.
I actually do like the upgraded alchemical a lot. And then you could also play Agnes with Forbidden Knowledge and Pete.
She's got plenty of money. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty high on this card. Mm-hmm. I like it. It might be the one that I come back next video and go, it wasn't.
I never had $2 or.
But I don't know. I think this might be the best card in the pack so far. But we can't declare it the best card in the pack until we've looked at. Ooh, Jessica Hyde, a new survivor ally. She better be good to be a playable survivor ally, right? Jessica Hyde, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, is level 1 and costs 3. She's an ally, a wayfarer, and is cursed. You get +1 combat. Jessica Hyde enters play with 2 damage on her, but after your turn ends, heal 1 damage from Jessica Hyde. I warned you to stay away from me. Now we're both in this together. Clearly very parallel to Pete in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe the one exception to her parallel to Pete, that she starts with 2 damage, is a reaction to like an adjustment based on Pete's power level.
Yeah, and I guess she's designed to be halfway between level 0 Pete and level 2 Pete in power.
True. Mm-hmm.
So like once she's fully healed, she has the same stats as level 2 Pete, who was 1-3, but she doesn't start as good. But probably better than 1-2 like Pete 0. Mm-hmm. Only gives 1 stat boost like Pete 0, not Pete 2. Yeah. But it is a stat that some survivors care about a lot. I think Ashcan Pete probably cares about this more than agility, and Yorick cares about this more than agility, I think. So those would be 2, obvious ones. Calvin, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just really strong that Survivor has an option other than Pete that has a stat boost on it.
Yeah.
and is just like Jessica Hyde seems very strong, very playable. I'm excited to try her out. And I think in Patrice, who loves stat boosts, because her default stat line is so low, like this is a great reason to take Charisma. Stock up on Jessica and Pete.
Mm-hmm. Although, does Patrice really try to punch stuff very often?
Maybe not. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe she's not a Patrice card, but yeah, just being able to set yourself up with Charisma and to heal a damage and a horror every round.
Yeah,
great for Calvin.
Yeah,
Calvin
definitely.
Probably got a lot better with this pack, and really pretty strong on just about anyone who can take these cards.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the flavor, I think, that her entering play with 2 damage on her brings, that like she's joined your little party, but she's like, you've come across her in some really bad situation.
No,
right?
she's from a plane crash. You can see in the background.
Oh, you can? Oh, there it is in the art. Yeah, I mean, and her subtitle, Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
Yeah.
Like, she's obviously not just chilling in Arkham. Yeah, I think that the fact that she is hurt when you find her, hurt when she joins you, is a pretty cool flavor bump.
Do you think they'll ever do a damage Carolyn?
Yes, I think so. I think by the time we have, 60 or however many investigators, by the time we have all the existing ones and a few more, yeah, I think we'll get it. I don't know. The thing is, I wouldn't want it to be Guardian. It feels like it would be a Guardian card, right? Because Guardians are the healers. But I wouldn't want both Carolyn and her parallel to be Guardian. I would want it to be something else so that they play dramatically differently.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I look forward to finding out. That is it. There was only the one Survivor card in the pack.
Yep.
Similar to Seeker. So what did you think of the pack?
All right. I think for me, I think the Guardian cards are the ones that stand out. I think First Watch is crazy powerful in 3 and 4 player, and Daring is just like totally my playstyle.
Yes, it is your playstyle. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I think that the Guardian cards are probably the most exciting. First Watch. I play mostly multiplayer. I play a lot of 3-player and up. So I think First Watch is going to be a card that I play quite a bit of, and then I think Read the Signs is just strong. I could be wrong, but I think it's real strong. And Jessica Hyde is great too. I think this is a little bit of a come down from the Dream Eaters box. Was pretty much the most like innovative product player card wise that we've seen, right? And this is a little bit back to just kind of developing on like themes we've seen before. And didn't do much with the Bond cards. There's no Myriad cards here.
Yeah.
So I'm a little let down in that respect, because I kind of thought like, yes, this is the cycle where it's like, okay, we've established kind of the baseline, how each class works, and given players plenty of just kind of like standard baseline cards to build decks with. Now we get the weird stuff. Yeah. And this one's not really weird stuff.
The First Watch is a pretty new mechanic.
True.
But yeah, I agree. A lot of these, I mean, Scroll of Prophecies, we've had so many scrolls in books that we can't keep them straight, Right. Followed and Read the Signs, we can obviously compare it to Intel Report and Drawn to the Flame, so not a lot of radically new mechanics. Jessica Hyde, obviously, we're spending most of the review comparing it to P.
Yep, yeah. So, good cards in the pack. Yeah, just a little bit of a step back from the, like, mind-blowingness of Dream Eaters.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that about wraps it up.
Yep.
Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for watching. We'd appreciate likes and subscribes and comments to let us know what you think and to help the channel out. And we'll see you again. I don't want to promise that we'll be back on schedule for the next pack because holidays, but sometime soon, when the next Mythos pack comes out, we'll be back to talk about it. So see you then, and until then, be optimal.